Well, I want to thank you all for being with us here this morning on this day of remembrance of September 11th, 2001. 15 years ago today, of course, we can never forget the events that unfolded and have unfolded even since that day. America has changed since then, and of course, our understanding of security at large has changed. I want to start this morning by introducing Miss Hawaiian Gardens, Jasmine Figueroa, and Princess Cindy Trejo to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Place your right hand over your heart.
Face the flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is called an invocation, but we really do not invoke your presence by asking for it. An invocation invokes us into the acknowledgement of your presence. It invokes our own recognition that you are everywhere and you are here with us, Father. And it invites you, by the presence of your Spirit, to stir among us and work in us. Gives you permission to work with us, Father, with meet us in our hurt, proper comfort, but also proper encouragement and motivation, Father.
I was one of the few people who was actually on a plane that day, later on in the afternoon, and ended up in Washington, D.C. in the middle of the night. For the next 12 days, I was at the Pentagon working that emergency situation. After we concluded that event, I was redeployed up to New York City, and I spent 5 days there. And not until I got to New York City did I really recognize and made aware of the patriotism and the nationalism that was being displayed all over the country, and especially in New York City. And it was an honor to be involved in both of those emergency situations, and it's something that I will never forget. And I think with everybody being here today, you're demonstrating the same thing in your national patriotism by being here and honoring the victims, almost 3,000, and especially the 343 New York City firefighters that perished that day trying to save people from those towers.
On the East Coast or the West Coast, it makes no difference. You have your law enforcement and you have your fire personnel that are going into harm's way to make life better, to protect, to keep everyone safe. And I felt that greatly when I was in New York walking around, because people just had their, they were on track to do whatever they were going to do, whether like was spoken earlier, a Broadway play or just walking around the city and enjoying life. And that's what we should really be focused on, because that's our freedoms. That's what's guaranteed here. But it's the first responders, it's the deputy sheriffs, it's the police officers, the fire department that are out there that will get that call. And that call, if it makes them run into that building, knowing that the dangers are there, and they will do that. And I have the utmost admiration for our law enforcement and fire personnel and the job that they do here for us as well. So thank you.
Another aspect that we don't have a speaker for today, but certainly has happened in the 15 years since 9/11, is all of our military officers and personnel who have risked their lives. Many have died in defending our rights and our security. And so let's just honor them with a hand clap right now if we can. We're going to have Lindsay Hundley sing a tribute song called "I Was Here" in remembrance of the public safety personnel that lost their lives on September 11th, 2001. And Assistant Fire Chief Nick Diwali and Captain Alan Castellano will present flowers in remembrance.
I wanna leave my footprints on the sands of time. No, there was something that meant something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I leave no regret. Leave something to remember.
Mendoza would actually like to acknowledge all of our firefighters, police officers that actually serve our community and risk their lives every day. On behalf of our state senator, I would like to present this certificate to the City of Hawaiian Gardens for commemorating this Patriot Day. Thank you.
So we're gathered together today to remember 15 years later on this, what is now called Patriots Day. And I think that's interesting because a patriot is a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. So I often feel that this is not a great name to remember this day by, at least for me anyway. Because I don't believe that any of the 343 firefighters or the 71 law enforcement officers who heroically died that day were carrying flags or fighting for some great American cause. They were simply desperately trying to save human lives without any concern whatsoever for race, creed, or color. Those 265 people who perished on those 4 planes, they didn't valiantly sign up as American soldiers. They were everyday people like me, like you.
Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Were you in the yard with your wife and children, or working somewhere in LA? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against the blue sky? Did you shout out in anger, in fear for your neighbor, or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children who'd lost their dear loved ones, pray for the ones who don't know? Did you rejoice for the people who walked from the rubble, stop for the ones left below? Father, I ask your continuous watch, care, and protection over our first responders, our police officers, firemen, military personnel, and those who are in danger on a daily basis. And bless everyone who's here today, Lord, who took their time to pause and to reflect on how America was changed that horrendous day. And as America grew stronger because of 9/11, let our faith grow stronger in you.